Alrighty guys, we're back for some Cruel Jodah, and this is a Dominaria United Standard Brew. We're going to go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Redcat and I play aggro decks and any decks with red in them as well, so hope that sounds fun to you guys. So what is this nonsense? Well, first of all, Jodah the Unifier, you guys have probably seen this card a few times already. So it is a 5 mana 5/5 legendary creature with all 5 mana colors up there. So pretty hard to cast. Legendary creatures you control get +X/+X, where X is the number of legendary creatures you control. Whenever you cast a legendary spell from your hand, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a legendary non-land card with lesser mana value. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So, pretty powerful card overall, guys. And what I ended up doing with this build is I essentially made the mono black shell with Jodah. I just squeezed Jodah into the mono black shell and then kind of based the rest of the decisions off of this card as well. What else do we got here? We got 4 cut downs, 2 Infernal Grasp, and a March of the Wretched Sorrow for some removal. And I think this is going to be a good balance. You could probably drop the March for an extra Infernal Grasp, or go down a cut down for an extra March if you enjoy the life gain and like just this card in general. I'm surprised we don't see more March of the Wretched Sorrow with all the mono black floating about anyways. I'm actually really surprised because the life gain on this is just terrific, honestly. We got 4 Jadars, so Jadar is pretty terrific and I think worth the 4 of here because it has a pretty decent target on its back as well. So up against like a mirror match, which is funny to call a mirror match when you're going up. We're playing 5 colors here, but if you go up against a mono black build, then it's very, very close to a mirror match. But it's pretty terrific because obviously those decks are running Liliana, and so that -2 becomes pretty obsolete when you have just 2/2 decayed zombies being produced every single turn, right? Then the legendary, of course, is going to be very good with the Jodah. Got a couple Raven Mans in here too. So a 2 mana 2/1, you might not see this card too often. At the beginning of each end step, if a player discarded a card this turn, create a 1/1 black bird creature token with flying. This creature can't block. Okay. Now you can pay 4 mana and tap it. Each opponent discards a card, activate only as a sorcery. Now I do wonder how often we'll use that bottom ability. Probably not too often, but it's there if we want to use it. Getting extra birds that can fly in the air to help us close out games seems cool, but honestly it's in here for a legendary creature and it does work beautifully with the Liliana as well. So we had 3 Meathook Massacres because, yeah, it's just one of those things. And the legendary enchantment side of this works really well because obviously we're rocking the 4 Plaza of Heroes here. This is going to really help us cast out the Jadar. And yeah, since it doesn't say legendary creature, it says legendary spell on Plaza of Heroes, we can totally use it for the Meathook. And Meathook goes a long way, as we know. A little bit too powerful, honestly. I wonder if anyone's calling for a ban yet, since mono black is like over 25% of the meta apparently. According to Aether Hub, I was just on there checking, but we got 3 Liliana of the Veils, 3 mana, 3 loyalty planeswalker, +1, each player discards a card, -2, target player sacrifices a creature, and then we're not even going to look at the -6 unless it comes into play. Very powerful. You guys are probably seeing this card everywhere. 3 Ob Nixilis. So here's another one. It kind of works with Raven Man too, because that +1, each opponent loses 2 life unless they discard a card. If they end up discarding a card to that, then we will get a bird for the Raven Man, which is pretty cool. Ob Nixilis is pretty great to have off of the Jadar too. Turn 2 Jadar into a turn 3 Ob Nixilis is pretty powerful because you can successfully sacrifice the decayed zombie to the Ob Nixilis and get a couple obs on the board with the casualty cost. So just a very powerful card and definitely worth having in here. The legendaries, once again, can be cast off of the Plaza of Heroes, which is pretty sick. In the 4-drop spots, we have 3 Henrika Domnathis. Now, the legendary creature, of course, comes into play because of the Jodah, but the vampire side of this is going to be handy as well, which we'll go over in just a second. Overall, terrific card. The fact that you have these abilities on here where You can choose this one where each player sacrifices a creature. Once again, Jadar really comes in handy with the Henrika, so Jadar might be an MVP in this particular build. Other than that, being able to flip this into a Flying Death Touch lifelink with all the aggro floating about, that lifelink is huge. And the fact that it's a 3/4, so that way the opponents can't just lightning strike the Infernal Seer, pretty good. We got 3 Sheoldred, the Apocalypse. No surprise here, legendary creature, 4 mana, 4/5 death touch. When you draw a card, you gain 2 life. When your opponent draws a card, they lose 2 life. Just a nasty card, dude, and you're going to see it everywhere. Anytime someone is running black, they're probably going to try to squeeze at least one Sheoldred in because it's very powerful. We have a couple Cruelty of Gix here. So this is a 5 mana saga that you've probably seen as well. It has read ahead, so we get to decide where the chapter starts. So chapter 1, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a creature or planeswalker card from it. That player discards that card. So that also works with the Raven Man too, with the discard ability. Pretty cool, right? Also, since we're already draining the opponent's hand with the Lilianas, the Cruelty, the Ob Nixilis potentially, they'll probably end up taking damage from the Ob Nixilis, to be real with you. But the opponent's probably running out of cards pretty fast with a deck like this. So, second ability, search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle, you lose 3 life. So you could search for the Jodah, you could search for an answer, like you could search for your March of the Wretched Sorrow, for example, because at that point, it's getting later into the game, so you got a ton of mana, so maybe you could gain some life off the March. You could search for a Meathook Massacre. This card's insane, guys. This card's insane. The chapter 3, though, it gets way better. Put target, especially for this deck, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Yep, let's bring Jodah back. So we are concerned about casting out Jodah, but we are also concerned about reanimating Jodah in this particular build. I think it's going to be really easy to bring this back. Biggest concerns about having like these whole reanimation style things is Graveyard Trespasser is seeing a lot of play, so it gobbles up graveyards very fast. You want to be careful about that. Cruelty is going to go a long way here, and I don't think I have the third one. Yeah, if I had the third one, maybe I would have tried to squeeze that third one in. Unfortunately, I do not have that. But we do have another way to bring Jodah back. Olivia Crimson Bride is a 6 mana, 3/4, flying haste. When it attacks, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking. It gains when you don't control a legendary vampire, exile this creature. So that's why the vampire side of Henrika can be pretty important too, because if they end up removing Olivia, maybe you still have Henrika on the board, so you get to keep whatever you revived with her. So you can bring back a Jodah, and then all of a sudden that buffs the Olivia too, and since it's a flying haste, it's probably slamming on through. And if you had just like one other legendary creature, then it's getting a pretty good buff, and that's a pretty good swing in the air, honestly. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. In the mana base, it's kind of a mess, honestly. The Plaza of Heroes is going to be the best land for sure, but we do have Thran Portals for emergency. Hopefully it doesn't end up completely wiping us out, and hopefully the little bit of life gain off of the Meathook and the March helps us run Thran Portal successfully. Now, we do have a little bit of leaning towards Rakdos, so I have some Pain Lands for the Sulfurous Springs, and I opted for the Pain Lands over more Haunted Ridges because we do want to be able to do like early cut downs, early removal in general, make sure we can get our 2-drops on the board like Jadar and stuff. So that's like that. And then we have all the 2 of all the other dual lands that lean towards black here. So white black, blue black, red black, and green black as well. 2 of each, hopefully helping us cast the Jadar. Like, you can definitely see why Plaza of Heroes will be the best here, but also why we wanted to be able to reanimate Jodah, not Jadar. I'm sorry, guys. We got Jadar and Jodah in the deck, and I'm going to be switching those names up constantly, I suppose. Also rocking an Abandoned Mire here, and only 24 total land. A little bit concerning, seeing that I've been really struggling to draw land, but we'll see. I think I've also been getting a little unlucky because in a lot of builds, 24 should be enough, I guess. This one's a little bit more mid-range, so we definitely are going to want to talk about 25 at some point, but it's also a deck that knows how to survive a little bit longer too, so we'll see. We'll talk about that more in the final thoughts for sure. Got some honorable mentions. Bankbuster, that could be cool in here. You know, we see other like mono black builds running it, and it could help us draw into the stuff we need, but not this time around. Really wanted to go the legendary route. Mirror Box, it could be awesome in here. Mirror Box with Jodah could be sick. I couldn't find room for it this time. We'll see though. Celestis, yeah, could be great. I like it. Helps us fix our mana and does a whole bunch of other stuff, and the life gain is actually pretty insane on here. If a game goes on for too long, Celestis can really gain you enough life so you can see what you need to see. And then Edgar, of course, another legendary vampire. This could be freaking sweet in here, and we might end up wanting to drop down to 2 Henrikas, go up an Edgar, or drop down to 2 Henrikas, 2 Sheoldred, go up an Edgar, go up a 25th land, something along those lines. Really depends. I want to test it out first, so we'll see in the final thoughts what we land on. Either way, guys, hopefully I went over the deck well enough. Let's go ahead and take this nonsense into some ranked and see how we do. Alright, we'll see if we can get right into the first match. There we go. Yeah, not bad. Like 4 seconds, 4 or 5 seconds. So, I just got done saying it while going over the deck. I'm a little concerned. Okay, good. Yeah, see, we actually see mana when we're not playing an aggro build. We'll see if that continues throughout the rest of the evening here. So, I like the cut down. I like the Meathook. I like the land. I think this is keepable, but the opponent is going first here. So hopefully that cut down is actually just enough. Hello, opponent. Okay, hopeful initiate. We might just want to do cut down on our turn because they might be running a Valorous Stance or something along those lines. Now, we're going to save it just in case they have a better 2-drop that we want to hit. And a Valorous Stance on a hopeful initiate isn't that terrific, so we'll see. No 2-drop, huh? Okay. So we can successfully play the Plaza of Heroes. Meathook is available now. And we have pretty good cards here. Just gonna take a couple turns to get there. So we have, I believe, all the mana we need to get the Jodah down. Unfortunately, if we didn't play Meathook, it does go to nighttime, so the Cavalier is a 4/4. Pretty scary, actually. It can keep up with Meathook successfully, and if it gets to a 5/5, then Sheoldred is probably going to have to block it, guys. Hopefully Sheoldred can just gain us enough life, though. And hopefully a deck like this doesn't get around a Sheoldred that easily. Okay, Henrika's pretty sick, too. Alright, let's go ahead and get the Deathcap Glade down. I don't like that they can double Lightning Strike this turn. That would be pretty bad. A double Lightning Strike on Sheoldred would be pretty bad, and pretty great for the opponent, honestly. Oh, they hit my face. Yeah, ow. Okay. They could keep the other one open, and then if we end up blocking, they could still hit the, no, they go for face, guys. They don't care about that Sheoldred at all. Oh, that means they plan to. Oh, it's nighttime. It's nighttime. Hey, we gain some life here. And we have Meathook for 3 to kill the Brute. It's nighttime, guys. Oh, man. So, Jodah the Unifier can come down too, and Henrika's pretty good. Everything's good. Meathook for 3 is pretty good, though. Getting rid of the Brute, gaining some life. But Jodah's really good, too. Okay, I guess it's Jodah. We just have to be careful about the this flipping. And it looks like we're going to have to take 1 here. So, the fact that we have amazing blockers is what I'm is kind of what I'm going for here. Yeah, this flipping back, they might hit the Jodah instead, and then we still have the Meathook when it comes time. Oh, great draw from the opponent. Valorous Stance, yeah. Very nice. Gets rid of the Sheoldred, stops the life gain. Okay. Okay, so I suppose Meathook for 4, keep Jodah as a blocker in case they have a hasty creature. What's scary about Meathook for 4 is the fact that they could Lightning Strike. Nice, we hit a Sheoldred off of that. That's sick, dude. So they could still, like, Lightning Strike the Jodah this turn. We'll see if they do. Nope. Oh, man, that is brutal. Oh, man. They got this Sunrise. I can't believe we hit a Sheoldred off the Meathook. Rapid Adversary. Nice. Yeah, no, we block here. Yeah, GG opponent. Oh, my goodness, guys. I was not expecting this to be so good there. Dude, I could not be more satisfied with this first game. Oh man. Okay, let's get into the next one, guys. Like I feel like I had more to say there at the end, but like I'm just like a little taken aback by how well that ended up working out. That was disgusting, dude. Oh man. Woo. Yeah, Meathook with Jodah. That was sick. Oh man. Okay, yeah. All right, focus. We have another match here. Opponent goes first. We could go Thran Portal on black to keep the cut down open. But I think I like... Okay, so they're tapped. So let's start with the Glade and make sure we can get the Jadar down next turn. Some Gruul. Okay. So cut down does hit the pack leader, but we can wait a turn. Dude, we could also just keep it open though too. Keep the cut down open over Jadar. I think that's fine. Let's do it. So I do know that some Gruul builds are running Tamiyo Safekeeping now, but they probably want to run down like their Reckless Stormseeker or their Squee, for example. So getting a 3-drop down is probably more important to them. Yep. So we can go ahead and take out that Stormseeker. Great hit for us. Very powerful removal spell for that turn especially. So we have double black. We're gonna go ahead and get this out on red so we can Ob Nixilis when we want to. But it's gonna be Liliana and have them sacrifice pack leader this turn. How do you guys feel about that? Like, we know they have hasty creatures, and if it hits Liliana over our face, that just gives us more turns to survive. Which I think is pretty ideal. Naturalist. Okay. Looks like Liliana might survive a turn too. Henrika. Okay. We'll start with the plus, and I think we're going to get rid of one of the Henrikas. It's really good against this build though, but I think Sheoldred's pretty good too. I don't want to ditch the Meathook. Ob Nixilis is good, but Jadar is just a little better here, especially if they just decide to play with Fire Jadar. Like, that's a great hit for us. Again, it's not something that'll be hitting our face, so we're up against werewolves. Let's go. We just played some werewolves yesterday. It's the same day for me, but for yesterday's video is what I mean here. So we can successfully block here and be pretty satisfied. Jadar is fine, and we still have our Ob Nixilis available for next turn if we don't hit the mana. So keeping Liliana is pretty important, I'd say. They have 4 mana. I think that the devil off of one of the... Oh, Cemetery! Hey, nice! Cemetery Prowler. Underplayed card for sure. Almost wish I would have added it to my deck a little bit, honestly. So we're going to take one for Ob if we sacrifice this. If we go -2 on Liliana, the Naturalist dies, not the Prowler. We have Meathook for 2. We need to see more mana. But honestly, guys, Sheoldred's probably the best bet here. Henrika's really good too. Alright. I've actually convinced myself Ob Nixilis is probably the best bet, and here's why. We get the blocker down. Like, everything in our hand is really good, so it does suck that we'll have to... So, like, Henrika, we could have done a lot... Oh, man, yeah, there's a lot to think about, but life gain off of the Ob Nixilis is really good. And getting rid of their Naturalist is fine, but keeping Liliana for an extra turn is actually just insane, isn't it? I'd rather keep all of these Planeswalkers available. And Henrika, unfortunately, it's so good, guys. I just think that the Sheoldred's going to do a lot more here. Oh, it's tough, though, because we have the sacrifice. I don't want to get rid of Meathook. Okay, alright, Sheoldred. Ah, man, I don't know. I don't know, that was a tough decision. Which one would you guys have gotten rid of there? Because here's the thing, the fact that we have the Devils available... Oh, they're gonna be blitzing everywhere here, guys. What are they gonna swing at? The token? Might want to swing with more. Yep. So, do we... Okay, where are these all going, guys? Is literally everything going at the Planeswalkers? So if we can protect... If we can save... So we block... Which one's going where? I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little confused here. There we go. If we can save that one... And let the other two die... I'd love to trade the Naturalist, but we can get another Devil. Go Henrika. I'd love to keep Liliana another turn, too. This is all damage not going to our face, by the way, guys. Super tough decision. Great swings from the opponent. Reckless Stormseeker is an insane one to get here, so... Yeah, tough decisions. I think we need to Meathook for 3 as soon as possible, or 4 if we can hit that Prowler soon. Like an Infernal Grasp off the top would be great too. The big thing here is keep our life total high enough to where we can just top deck fire for the rest of the game, you know? Okay. So, Abandoned Mire is going to come down as a land for sure. We now have Meathook for 3. If we want to hit the Naturalist and the Stormseeker, but we could hold out for a Meathook for 4. We could get Henrika down successfully, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to -2. They're going to get rid of their Naturalist here. So Henrika comes down. It might get gobbled up by a Lightning Strike next turn if we don't transform it right now, though. A 3/4 flying Death Touch is pretty good. Maybe we just transform it. The Reckless Stormseeker is a problem. Yeah, I've actually, like, I keep talking myself into different plays. Honestly, the fact that Werewolves run Play with Fire and Lightning Strike, that's probably... Also, Tamiyo's Safekeeping was one of their discards here. Tovolar getting a little buff, a little boost, nice. What do they got? They got 1 mana open. It could be anything. Tail Swipe could be a thing that they run. They're letting us keep the Ob? No, they're not. No, they're not. Ob is out of here. They have to have something available in hand, right? Lightning Strike, easy. Gaining more life, though. The Meathook's just insane here. If we... So, I think the best thing to hit is this. And we stop the swing from hitting face and let the Ob Nixilis die. And what this does is we gain 3. Prowler's gone. If we don't top deck a land, then it's still Meathook for 3 to just devastate the opponent next turn. If they use this extra mana to Lightning Strike the Henrika, Tamiyo's Safekeeping! Oh man! So they could still like play with fire. That's actually rough, man. So the Prowler's still here, so now we really want to see the land. So we can -4 everything. So the second Safekeeping's down. At least we got to keep this, huh? At least we got to keep the Henrika. So it's still a great blocker here. Depends what they have left, though. I say we do it, guys. We can't let them keep this board state. No way. X is 3. And we keep this as a blocker. Oh, we don't gotta keep it as a blocker. Maybe I should have swung, guys. Yeah, I should have swung. I don't know what I'm thinking. We're still at 20. I guess I'm used to being at like 5 or less recently. Yeah, we should have attacked. That's fine. Keeping it as a blocker is fine too, because if they end up getting something really hasty, then it's a very good blocker. Back up to 23 though. Yeah, we would have been at 26, so... Paxong pop. Dude, nice. This is going to be an uphill battle. This is anyone's game. For sure. They can't successfully swing. Oh, Cruelty is cruel, dude. Oh my goodness. Let's see what's in the opponent's hand before we swing. Yeah, we start with that one. Creature or Planeswalker. It's going to be a third Tamiyo safekeeping. So now we just start to swing. Yeah, last turn we should have been swinging in too, but this is also fine. Hallandale, oh buddy. A little bit scary. I think we're okay for now. We have the Jadar as an emergency blocker. Gonna be taking another 3 here too. They're gonna hit all the creatures out of my grave, or some out of their grave too, to make the Cruelty a little bit worse. Yeah, this Prowler's a problem. This Prowler's a big problem. You could hit the other Cruelty. Another Henrika would be cool. Sheoldred would be pretty sick because of the Death Touch. Liliana, just an Infernal Grasp to hit. March of the Wretched Sorrow doesn't hit much. It hits the Paxong, but oh no, it hits Hallandale. It hits Hallandale for 3. Sheoldred's probably just better. No, I'm gonna get the March. X is 3, we gain 2. So we can swing. Can actually get rid of the Jadar in hand if we wanted to. So we're back up. Oh, we could have played Jodah this turn as well. I'm sorry, guys. We can keep this open, but we don't want them to have Tamiyo safekeeping, even though, yeah, this is X damage, so... It's actually X is 4, but if we do X is... It's the same thing. We would just have 1 mana open. I'll do the X is 4 then. And we could do more than that if we wanted to get rid of Jadar, but Jadar's pretty good. So we're back up to 21. I think we're safe. I personally think we're safe, even though I'm kind of butchering some plays. Like, if they don't gobble up everything in their grave, like, we're about to get back the best creature from the grave, so they want to get rid of Hallandale. This is 9 damage. Their creatures are getting quite buff over there. Another Jodah, that's a great draw. Check my grave, that's a Jadar. Pretty good. Pretty good. But I think it's going to be Stormseeker. Because we can give haste to the Jodah. How do you guys feel about this? Maybe not. Maybe we just gain life off of the Henrika. Gain more life, that's 6 damage in the air. So they're down to 6. They have the Tamiyo safekeeping. That's going to gain them 2 life. I feel like there's a lot of things that I could have done differently here to make the game a little bit easier on me. I'm pretty sure we could have played this one out better. Paxong Pup getting nice and stacked. And we have another Jodah in hand. They don't really know about that. So here's what we're going to do. We know they have the Tamiyo safekeeping, so they probably keep the Prowler. But we're still going to go like this and take the 5, because like the lifelink off of Henrika is just disgusting. So Tamiyo safekeeping, they're back up to 8. We get to keep the Stormseeker. And they didn't kill the Jodah yet, but they could. They have one card. Could be Play with Fire or a Lightning Strike. It's going to be a land, and they don't actually keep it as Crucible, though. So Plaza of Heroes. So we play the other. We play Jadar. Just exile my whole deck, apparently. Put it back. Okay, good. Oh, man. And now, we swing in the air and use the buff and get that victory. Very nice, guys. Very nice. Oh, man. That's disgusting, especially since I didn't really... I feel like I just didn't play it out that well, guys. We barely had any land, too. Ah, oh, jeez. Jodah's nasty, and it feels pretty gross putting it in with a, with the mono black shell. I really hope no one did this before, because it's one of those things. I'm sure someone has tried it, I'm sure. But it's one of those things, I really hope it's a unique one, you know? Because it's so fun. Opponent goes first again. I'm not surprised. Our build is one of those builds that can survive going second. This is fine. I think it's okay. We have no early removal, so we might just get ran down pretty fast, but we have a lot of stuff we can draw. There we go, Infernal Grasp. That's perfect. We'll start with the Plaza, probably get Thran Portal on black next turn. I just want to see what we end up drawing first. Yeah, Phoenix Chick is pretty cool off of Kamano. Another Plaza of Heroes. Infernal Grasp is going to hurt pretty bad, but we want to be prepared to be able to do the Infernal Grasp. Be a Play with Fire from the opponent's hand. Yeah, hit the face, get the scry. This is all going to be very painful, guys. This is all going to be very painful. Hopefully just surviving long enough to get Meathook and then Henrika's lifelink down is going to be enough, but I'm not convinced. So Henrika can block Phoenix Chick quite successfully, and Etching exiles, so I think it's going to be get rid of Etching here. We take 3 damage just to get the Infernal Grasp going, so at least it wasn't like a squee coming down. So Shattered Sanctum, Plaza of Hero, everything in hand. It's really just the Thran Portal that's dealing damage here. Oh man, like another Play with Fire off of the Chandra would be gross, dude. Don't do it. Don't. Okay, yeah, no more Play with Fires. That's good. Meathook for 1 doesn't do much. Another land isn't terrific. So let's hold off. I know. It's scary. We're at 9, but a Meathook for 2 is a lot better than a Meathook for 1 that doesn't do anything, or a Meathook for 0 for that matter. No creatures means we probably are gonna get a hasty creature next turn, and they're playing around some stuff. Lightning Strike. We're down to 3. Oh, another Lightning Strike! Oh my goodness, opponent. GG, dude. Wow. We had no chance that time round. That was a beautiful example of, I guess, like, the mid-range side of the deck really showed through there. Not being able to have too much early on, and then what we did have early on was a Thran Portal with Infernal Grasp, so we took a lot more damage just to get rid of an Etching. Yeah. I think that's a beautiful example of, oh, I don't know. Because if we didn't draw that extra land there, because we only have 24 land, which, like I said, should be enough, but sometimes it's not, but then sometimes it's too much, and I guess that's just the way of Magic. Hey, we go first here. Okay. I don't necessarily enjoy this hand, but it's also, like, not a terrible hand, I guess. I'm gonna hold back. Double Meathook is pretty powerful, so Like being able to wipe multiple board states in a row. Yeah. Now here's going to be an example. Like now we're probably not going to see enough mana, right? Where last game we really wanted to see one of our 4 cut downs or whatever it's called. Beastcaller. Okay. So Jadar, get that Beastcaller out of there. Double Liliana is pretty good, but it's probably going to be like a turn 3 Reckless Stormseeker. Kill Liliana, then play our second one and make him sacrifice Stormseeker. Could be Squee too. Nope, there's the Stormseeker. Gun down the Liliana, and then we get the Liliana of the Veil back on the board. Make them sacrifice Stormseeker. Oh, pretty good. We need to see more land for Meathook to do well against Gruul. We are seeing a lot more Gruul, guys. Makes me happy. Gruul is awesome. So much fun, and it looks really powerful right now. We still have a third Liliana in the deck. That's not really the point of having, like, we don't need it on the board, you know? The main point of having, like, oh, well, there goes Liliana. Commando hitting Planeswalkers too. This is one pushed uncommon, and it is so good. So much fun to play with. Iconoclast, nice. Okay, we have the 4. So when this flips, in a deck like this, they're definitely going to be capable of getting above Meathook range. So we really want to see. We really want to see more land, but for now we just run everything onto the board. The worst comes to worst, we can start using Raven Man's ability here too. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that in the final thoughts, but I don't think you want to go up to 26 land by any means. So 25 at most, and it's too bad we don't have like some more lands that just do more, you know? Like, I guess we could run more of the legendary lands, but you really want to lean towards the black mana base here. So you don't want too much. I suppose like the Who Endures wouldn't be a bad addition, but again, if you got to play that out as a green mana, you're probably pretty sad about it. So yeah, Stormseeker is well above. That's a good trade for us. Stormseeker gets around Meathook unless we draw. No, it's still going to be a 3/4, huh? Oh, Sheoldred's a terrific draw. Holy cow. I think I'd want to be able to block with Jadar if we needed to. So we'll save it as an emergency blocker because we are at 13. Get the Sheoldred down. And hopefully Sheoldred can carry us through to the 5th land. But now we need a lot more land for this current matchup. Commando's about to flip. It really depends because they could drop a mana, drop like a Hallandal, and then they can just completely outpace the Meathooks for the rest of the game with Hallandal on the board. We'll have like no choice except for to Meathook for 3 if we get the land just to kill the Hallandal. So yeah, this is going to be an uphill battle. Yeah, oh man. Oh man, opponent, you don't got to do everything that I'm talking about. Come on now. So they want to give it to Stormseeker probably. Well, we have, the problem is Sheoldred has Death Touch. And so like, they want to trade here. They really want a trade. And for now, I'm not going to give it to them. So we're taking 3 technically because we gained 2 off this draw. Yeah, so not terrific, guys. Not seeing the mana, not terrific. We need to kill Hallandal. We are going to gain a life there. Keeping the Sheoldred's fine, but a second Hallandal is not unlikely. Oh, did I just Meathook for 2? Oh my goodness, guys, what have I done? What have I done, guys? What am I thinking? My brain said, oh yeah, Meathook for 3 is gonna kill the Hallandal, but I don't have Meathook for 3. We needed that mana. Oh, well, this is the opponent's either way then. Even if I would have kept... Opponent's probably like, what's happening? Hey, Rending Flame. I know that this is in here just for the Sheoldred too. I know it. Oh, guys, but yeah, even if, like, we would have just had Jadar to block here, we would have been able to chump, but what would that have done in the long run? we were dead. Not seeing the mana definitely put us in the grave there, so... I apologize, though, for the Meathook for 2. That was funny. For some reason, my brain was like, Hallandau is going to die to this, and yeah. Obviously, that didn't happen. Okay, guys, only seeing the 4 mana. Pretty bad. We're definitely going to need to talk more about going up to 25 mana here. I really don't think it's a nail in the coffin every time you miss a land with this deck. I really don't. And then more often than not, okay, well, this is scary. Now the game's like tempting me. Okay, we're gonna try it. We'll see how often we can not hit land. The game's definitely tempting me here to do more testing, so. Yeah, no land, so here's the Jadar. Come on, land. Come on now. I'll tell you what, 24 should be enough to see your third at least, but then after that point, that's when you need to start thinking like, okay, well, if I would have included more, then, okay, Thran Portal, nice. And get this down on... What do we want to get this down on, guys? I suppose it doesn't really matter, just not black so the Jodah's more likely. We have 2 mana open. I'm gonna save Liliana for after the fact, and we might actually end up getting rid of the Jodah here off of the discard with Liliana. I think we discard regardless. This might not even hit the board. We have another one in hand, so let's see if a Make Disappear happens. A lot of damage, dude. That's a lot of damage. This deck's ridiculous. Make Disappear, yep. Okay, get another 2/2. They get their third land, no problem, guys. No problem at all. They're not sweating. Abel? Oh man, that goblin's gonna survive. Hey, we got our 4th! Let's go! What that means is that goblin's not gonna survive. We're gonna get Henrika down. Another 2 damage, huh? Pretty scary. Worth it, though. Sheoldred's pretty good here, too, but that goblin has to go. We can't let them ramp. It could also be the Liliana, but Henrika's better because it like gives us something to do next turn too, and we actually have the 4 mana, so we might as well cast it all out before like a Make Disappear happens. At this point, if we get a green source or a blue source, then we can actually get Jodah on the board too. Henrika might perish. Sheoldred is a pretty great one to hit the board if they kill it. Okay, they still have 2 open, so a Make Disappear is still something. Oh, second Sheoldred pretty much guarantees that I should play this. We'll start with the swing, and we full swing, because the opponent's getting low too. This is like a back and forth. Who will die to their own lands first style match, you know? Alright, second Make Disappear. We have another Sheoldred in hand, so I'm not too concerned about it. Like, get it out of the opponent's hand. Holy cow, it hits the board. It must be another Infernal Grasp, maybe? A cut down for the Jadar, but now we still get our 2/2 back. And they'd have to take a life if they do the cut down. And then they're taking another 2 life here. Yeah, uphill battle for the opponent, I'd say, but it really depends. They could go right into their 5th mana and right into that new legendary card. Rona's Vortex, dude, nice. They do it on their turn, though, looking for a land, I suppose. Wait, where did they draw off of? Wait, hold on, I'm confused. Where did they? Oh, they did it right at the beginning, before anything else, before they drew. Yeah, I thought Rona's Vortex drew them a card for a second, but that is just not the case. We still get a swing here. Liliana's just terrific, isn't it? I think we just Liliana here. Make them sacrifice Reflection. And then full swing. Yeah. That's probably the best bet.
Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
Down to 8. Get another 2/2 back. The Sheoldred would be great too, but what if they copy something amazing off of Reflection next turn? That's the 5 mana card I was talking about. Pretty good card, guys. So they're gonna do 3 damage to Jadar? No, they hit the Liliana here. Oh, and we got the mana. So Jodah can come down. Each opponent loses 2 life, you gain 2 life, draw a card, and then the last one, we get control of this. They're not gonna let that happen, obviously, but so Jodah can hit the board, but Sheoldred's probably just better here, and then surprise them with Jodah next turn. How do you guys feel about that? We full swing, they take out Jadar, then they take 2 down to 6, but I think we just hold off. Have full control open. It could be another Vortex here. Get that Sheoldred out before they draw. That's why they did it right at the beginning. Soaring City, nice. Opponent definitely knows what they're doing, and they're doing plays that I wouldn't think about until like I practiced with the deck. Or sometimes you guys would have to point that out, like, hey, put on full control before this happens. That way you don't take that damage, you know? It's pretty smart. I like it. Opponent's teaching me a lot right now. Like I said, Liliana doesn't do much against Jadar. We just get rid of the 2/2. So they want us to discard, and the Meathook isn't doing much here, so. So Jodah comes down. Jadar will be a 3/3 because we have 2 legendaries. Next turn, we're going to lose a couple. Raven Man's pretty good. Either way, I want to be able to kill Liliana this turn, so let's run this down. Full swing at Liliana. This deck has been really cool so far, guys. I'm actually really enjoying it. The big issue, and I know I keep saying it, so I apologize, it is the mana. We probably need to go up to 25. It's a little greedy to just have the 24. Yeah, we block here. I understand that they might have something in hand, simple as like a lightning strike or something, but we cannot take 5 damage. Not when we're about to take another 2, and not when we have the Thran Portal, the Sulfurous Springs too, so Meathook for 2 kills everything. What a draw from the opponent. Back up to 11 for them, and now we let Sheoldred do its thing and hope that that's just enough. Down to 9. Yeah, losing Jodah's pretty rough, huh? Gaining a little bit here. Get this down on blue, but I think it's just safer to just run it down on black again. We'll get the Raven Man down. We only have 3 available, so we can't act. Oh, he doesn't have haste, guys. We can't activate his ability anyways. Infernal Grasp is probably going to be pretty good here. It's sticking, but it's not a Wandering Emperor. They don't have the colors for that, so we swing. Down to 3. GG, opponent! Hey, let's go, guys! Alright, 60% total win rate. We lost to 2 aggro builds, and they were very, very aggressive, so I'm satisfied, but if we had one more land, maybe those aggro losses would have been a little bit different, huh? So let's go ahead and get my quest done too. Sweet. All right, here's the deck list again, guys. I really enjoyed this one. This is simple, all right? This is simple. Drop a Henrika, go up a 25th land. You love Henrika? That's fine. Keep them in there. Drop a Raven Man. You really only need 1. It's not going to do as much as you'd think. It's really only good because it's legendary and for Jodah, but then it also pairs with all the discard abilities from Ob, Liliana, and the Cruelty as well. So I think it's safe to drop a Raven Man or a Henrika and go up to 25 or 26 mana. But I don't know, I'm not convinced. I am not convinced by any means that you need 26 mana. I think this deck can easily run on less mana than other mid-range builds, but you really do want to see 4 and then eventually 5 as the game goes on. But at that point, you're controlling the board state long enough to just see that extra mana. and you don't want to get flooded early on by any means. You really want to see your early removal. It's definitely worth going up to 25 though. I think that's an easy... I think it was a little bit greedy of me to just have the 24. So it's either... I would keep all 4 Jadars, by the way. It's very powerful, but if you're concerned that it's legendary and you are seeing too many Jadars, then you could drop down to 3. I wouldn't. I think it's pretty good. The Decayed Zombie working with Ob Nixilis, the Legendary working with everything else, the fact that Jadar pairs well when your opponent's running Liliana and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, you could go down to 3, I suppose. Either way. So it's between dropping down to 2 Henrikas, which, by the way, is an MVP in and of itself because of the lifelink. When this transforms, it's insane, and then Henrika works really well with Jadar, too, so I don't know what to take out. I don't know. I think it's the Raven, man. Yeah, you probably do want to see as many Henrikas as possible just because it's so powerful and pairs well with the Henrika. It's another legendary vampire, so it pairs with the Olivia, too. I love that we were just able to cast Jodah today a few times instead of like revive with the Cruelty or the Olivia. So I would drop down to 1 Raven Man and go up to 25 land. And what land do you want to add? Bro, I have no idea. Maybe the Who Endures just for the sake of maybe potential enchantment removal, but I wouldn't because there's nothing in here that's green except for Jodah. And if you have to play that as a land, you're probably going to be pretty sad, especially at the beginning of the game. For example, if you have 2 black sources and your Who Endures, you can't play your Ob Nixilis on 3, stuff like that, right? So Plaza of Heroes is too bad we can't run like 8 of these. That would be ideal for a deck like this, honestly. Other than that, the mana base wasn't bad at all because everything is majority black, so we were able to cast everything with ease, which was awesome. Speaking of casting with ease, you could probably not run the 4 Thran Portals. It's pretty dangerous, and there's a lot of great aggro builds, so you could probably drop down to... You could probably drop these, honestly, and just go up other dual land. If you are very particular about your Thran Portal, which I know some people are, I understand 100% because that extra damage... that extra damage is a lot of extra damage, so... Yeah. It's up to you guys, honestly. What would you add or take out? Let me know in the comments. And if you guys made it this far into the video, then y'all are champions. And I super duper appreciate you. And I will see you in the next video.